Ashley, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm your biggest fan. Me and my wife have been Glory Hole fans for the longest time.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That's nice to hear.
Yeah, so I didn't know you had. So we'll start how we usually start. I usually say, "What's your name? How many kids you have, and what do you do for a living?" And we'll get into it.
Okay. It's a long one. It's Ashley Jaco de Boineau. It's a handful. And I've got two littles. One is 4. Her name's June. And the other one is 2.5. His name's Indy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
Oh, I make donuts.
That's amazing. So I need to hear the journey from the beginning. Like I kind of vaguely know. I think you started at George Brown College, but I need to hear it from your side.
Oh my gosh,
Sorry.
we're going to go way back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I mean, I knew from a young age that I wanted to be in food somehow. I lived in a multi-generational family. My grandfather taught me how to cook. And so it kind of started there, my passion for food. And I took cooking in high school. I went to Central Tech, so they offered kind of a culinary program. And then from there, I went to George Brown and, made my way around Toronto, in different restaurants. I mainly worked service jobs. And at a certain point, you have to really, really push and be passionate to have a career of 20 plus years in that industry in a service type setting. And at a certain point for me, working 14-hour days, 6-7 days a week was just not cutting it for me. And I had kind of said to myself, well, if I'm going to do this for somebody else, I might as well do it for me, which led me to the idea of Glory Hole Doughnuts. And here we are. I mean, I can't believe it's been 13 years. And yeah, I mean, it's been wild. We've had a couple of locations and ups and downs. It's been wild.
How did you come up with the name?
That's a question we get asked a lot for sure. My husband is in advertising.
I saw yesterday. I started following him.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Yeah. So, he ultimately did all of our branding and created it. But it just came out of, we're funny people. We like to be cheeky and not very serious. We don't like to take life too seriously. So he kind of actually, it just came out of his mouth just as a joke. And then eventually I would say the tagline, what creams are made of, right? And it kind of married well together in my young opinion.
Very cool.
And that's how it started.
Did he create like the logo and stuff, or was that before?
So we came up with the name and then he came up with the brand deck. And I don't know, we've been in business for 13 years, so we've had a bit of a rebrand. So the original logo is completely different from what it is today.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So how much did it cost to start your business?
Oh, those sweet, sweet young days. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm going to say these numbers compared to what it is now. We in and around 95K.
Okay.
And that was with sheer will and determination, a little bit of spit and blood and twigs went into that first shop. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
So 95K, did any of that have to be like from the bank, or is this like you bootstrapped it yourself?
Yeah, it was I used basically a line of credit and a family loan, basically. Cool. I had originally thought that 40K would suffice.
Yeah.
And then I sort of got dicked around by the contractor, and they kind of left me high and dry and had to pick up where they left off, basically, with my husband.
It's always the case. I don't know why I hear so many stories with contractors doing that. It's sad.
It's really common, and it doesn't have to be common.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so you opened up. How was like your first couple months? Like, was it what you expected it to be? Like, did you think your friends would come and support you and come to your location, or was it just the neighborhood coming together and kind of?
I don't know what I thought, honestly. I was 26 at the time, and for me as a 26-year-old, I don't know how, I'm just speaking for myself, I was invincible. When I thought of that idea, I was like, yes, this will work. I had absolutely no doubt. So I think a large part of my success throughout the years is a sheer belief that it will work. And so during the first year, first couple of months, I don't know what I was expecting. I knew that it would work. I guess I didn't realize how much work it was going to be. Being there 7 days a week, 14 days, like in the industry, but a different kind of exhaustion, right?
Got it.
But yeah, it was lovely. I remember the first day we opened, and my best friend I had enlisted her to come help me for the first day, and the way the shop was positioned and designed, you could see and hear everything in the front of house.
Yeah.
And we're making donuts in the back. And this little boy was one of our first customers that came in, and he goes to his dad, "I want a donut, Daddy," or something along those lines. And I just broke down and like quivering lip. And it was great. Yeah.
How did you know it was donuts that you wanted to sell?
I think in college, we learned about artisans and making one thing really well, and that really stuck in my mind for a long time. And I think there's something to be said for someone to commit their entire career to making this one thing really well. And I always found yeast fascinating, and because sure, there's a formula to it, but there's an organic component. And I just love donuts. So I just chose it. I chose basically one of the hardest things to make, to have consistent product all the time.
So how many times did you have to like do trial and error before perfecting the recipe?
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. I mean, in I guess probably about 6 months, I was doing recipe development in my house in Toronto, and I kept, like, I had a baking rack. I wasn't selling them, but I was just testing things, and I would wake up my husband at midnight and kind of like tap him, and he'd open his mouth and try whatever I gave him kind of thing. So yeah, maybe about 6 months of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then just like, how do you guys come up with the flavors? Like, is it just random? Is it you make what you want and hope people like it too?
It's a bit of both. I mean, I think over the years, it's a very collaborative process. Like, a lot of the staff come up with flavors, and I want to give them credit. But it's a lot of based on like iconic desserts, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many years did you have to work at your business before you were able to kind of give yourself a break?
I guess the third year was kind of it was a realization where I was like, I just can't do this anymore every day, day in, day out. I need some breaks. So it was about year 3, and I remember having a staff meeting to say, like, look, I need some boundaries here. These are the days off I'm going to be taking. I'm going to do some volunteering. That's really important to me. Please know that I'm still here, but these are the boundaries. Yeah. So I had a clear plan of how it was going to happen.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. It's hard work, right?
It's just the physicality of making donuts. I don't think people really get. It's really, really hard work. Yeah.
Do you have to let it like proof?
It's like an 18-hour process.
That's crazy. So if you mismanage how many you need to make, it's not like you can just pop them in the,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. You can't just, it's not like cookies, right? Where you can make the batter ahead of time. Oh, we've run out. Okay, no problem. Let's bake some more off. It doesn't work like that with donuts.
Did that become challenging, trying to figure out, the ups and downs of the busy times and how much inventory you actually have to make?
It still is.
Okay.
Every day, my manager and I, it's always like, it's a dart at the board every day. We can't, even now more so than ever, COVID, like past COVID times, you cannot predict anything.
Got it.
Nothing.
So you opened up your second location. I think it was prior to COVID. Was
yes.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about that opening, and then I guess you can tell me how COVID impacted you guys.
I surely will. Yeah, we had our Parkdale location, and we're coming to a point where there just wasn't enough room in that space to grow. And we had so thankful, we had lots of sellouts, like people were coming, right? And so thankful for that. So I had saved enough cash to kind of maybe think about doing another build, and it took about 6 months to find the space. And I actually found the space. The realtor didn't really do much on that end, fine. But so we found the space on the east side, which is sort of where I grew up. I went to school around the corner, and it was strange. Everything was kind of coming together. So we built that in 2018, January 18th, 2018, we opened. Yeah.
And then a year and a half later, or maybe 2 years, COVID happens.
Yeah.
How does somebody overcome like challenges like that?
You don't. We are still overcoming those challenges. There's not, and obviously I'm just speaking for myself, but just based on everybody I know who owns a small business, we're still climbing our way out of that. Like I mentioned, there's no rhyme or reason for anything now. You cannot predict anything, so COVID happened, but now, it's things like severe weather warnings, and that don't happen. Well, how does that affect you? We don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you have to like pivot in terms of your strategies, at least let's say advertising or your costs once COVID happened?
Yes, yeah, we did. We so like everyone else, we sort of closed down, obviously, and then gradually started doing these what we called pop-ups, I guess. And we were coming in once a week, doing, I think it was like a 6-pack of minis, to start getting back into it. But we kind of I would say pivoted a little bit more slowly than everybody else.
Okay.
You looked at other businesses and they were like literally rebranding to something else or whatever. We didn't quite do that. I think that was a bit of my downfall, because I was so stubborn in like, no, we make one thing really well. Let's continue. This has worked for so long. Let's continue.
Sure.
So we did do some pivots, like obviously with changing suppliers, taking off ingredients that were too costly and things like that. We moved to a smaller donut format. So we did, but I didn't necessarily add things in like a lot of businesses did.
Got it.
Yeah.
Did you have to start changing like the different revenue streams that you have? Like obviously you have your store, and I know you guys, I think, offer these cool donut walls for like organizations and stuff like that. Are you still doing stuff like that?
We're still doing stuff like that, but one of the issues that has sprouted from COVID and COVID being such a lengthy thing that happened, people are either doing hybrid office jobs, so we don't get as much corporate accounts or donut walls. We still do them, but we're not seeing that as much, definitely.
That's crazy.
It's insane. Yeah.
Like, it's sad to see.
It is.
Like,
it is. But on the plus, I do have to stand back and, I am really proud that we're still here.
Yep.
Not a lot of businesses made it through, and that I'm really proud of everybody in the team.
Was it challenging dealing with landlords as a small business?
So I had one of the most challenging years of my life about 2 years ago when I decided to move my Parkdale location to Harvard Street.
Okay.
I thought it was the right move. We were up on our 10-year lease, and the building itself was kind of crumbling, and the landlord, didn't really want to maintain it. Fine, common story. We found a place on Harvard Street, a beautiful kind of Victorian house. And I was pregnant with my second child, and I was like, let's do this. I know how to build a shop. I know what I'm doing. This is going to be easy. And turned out we landed the most villainous landlord you could ever possibly imagine. Yeah. We were forced to sell because of what she did. She wasn't allowing us to cook there. It's a very long-winded story. Come to find out that tenants previous to me had mirrored the exact same experience. It was terrible. It was unbelievable.
Are you are you not open still there?
No, not on Harvard. No.
That's the one near U of T, right? I
Yeah.
used to walk by there and get a donut. So when did you guys close that location?
This about 2 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah.
It felt like just yesterday I was walking and
Oh
grabbing
yeah.
a donut.
Yeah.
So you just have now one location.
On Gerard.
Okay. I don't know. I did not know that.
Not many people do because I couldn't be vocal about the legalities going on behind the scenes.
Got it.
It was very severe.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
brutal.
it's you live and you learn, and so yeah. To answer your question, 100%, a million percent.
Yeah. Okay. And how was it running a business while having, I think you said, your second child?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just remember. Oh my gosh. I just remember I was pregnant and I had another kid, and building a shop, having another shop. It's like, I don't know. I just, time passed so quickly. I had Indy, and I had to give responsibility to my staff to complete a bit of the build, to be
I
honest.
thought you were going to say, take care of Indy.
Take my child.
Like as a baker, you're waking up early. Did you still have those responsibilities, or was it employees?
No, I couldn't
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
So luckily, everything kind of worked out that way, but it was tough. It was really tough.
I can't imagine having a business and having to kind of do that
Yeah.
and then deal with all of the issues with the landlord.
Ugh.
Stressful.
Mm-hmm.
How was your husband? What was his thoughts on all of this? Like,
He was my rock,
Yeah.
right? He actually ended up answering the emails from the landlord because she was harassing me.
got it.
I couldn't deal with it anymore. It was that bad. So he helped me a lot
Wow.
through that. Yeah.
For anyone who wants to get, like, let's say, into the business, what are some barriers that you would say they would face?
It's funny. I don't know why some people have come to me recently for advice on kind of opening something on their own. But my advice pre-pandemic is very different post-pandemic. So I'm a little more conservative with telling people how to do things. I would say my biggest piece of advice is, if you are going to rent something from somebody, you need to meet that person, and you essentially would want to interview them. You want to check their credentials before you sign anything. Do not go in blind that way, ever. And then the other part is, if it's financially feasible, own your own building or start out of a trailer.
Got it.
Yeah.
Tips from Ashley.
Yeah, tips from me.
Did you face any challenges, like being a woman, and having a small business?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I was literally just speaking to a contractor yesterday about that. I think because I started so young, that was one of the issues. People didn't take me seriously. And then, yes, having a vagina was a big issue to some people. Because I'm the type of person, I'm going to lay it down. I've always been like that. I lay it down on the table for people. I don't tiptoe around what I'm going to tell you. I'll be somewhat gentle about it. I try to be, but I think that was a huge problem for collaboration with starting my business, especially, unfortunately, in the construction kind of industry. Yeah.
Very true. Like I told you, I work for a non-for-profit, and like 90% of our apprentices are male and very small are female.
Yeah.
So it's, I can understand those challenges.
Yeah.
So what are some goals? Like what's in store for you guys? And I know also cost of ingredients. You guys are doing a lot of pivoting and stuff like that. Like, tell me more.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a big change coming for the shop that I'll kind of leave some room for you guys to find out a little bit later. But things are changing almost weekly, especially with things coming in now with like the threat of
Yeah,
tariffs. Who knows how that, until you reach like a full quarter, who knows how that's really going to affect our economy, the affordability crisis. But because that has been announced, people are being more reserved as to where they're spending, how much they're spending. So we're already seeing a trend in that. So yeah, like I said, there is a big change coming for us in shop, but as I mentioned, we are still pivoting almost like weekly. Like, oh, did this not work? Oh, did that chocolate went up 1,300%? Okay, we're taking that off. This, and this. Like it's
wild.
yeah, it's the
That
Wild
is
West. I always say.
totally.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, like, ideally in a perfect world, like, what would be best to kind of make Glory Hole Donuts stay forever? Let's say,
Stay forever?
yeah,
Oh
forever,
my
ever.
gosh. Forever ever?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like, what's missing right now that you need help with? Let's say.
We just need people to we need more corporate to come back. And it is slowly, there's a tiny bit happening again, but those are the accounts that matter, right?
Yep.
I mean, the foot traffic can be this or that from one day to the next, but if you have those accounts secured, locked in, that's consistency, right?
So what kind of strategies are there to kind of get these? Like, do you have to meet with them? Do you have to send flyers to like Canada Post? What's the logistics on that?
At one point, I think last year, I was cold calling people.
Good for you.
I was cold calling people. Again, there's kind of no rhyme or reason with I had at one point spoken to a marketing company, like traditional marketing, and I said, I'd like to get a quote on some traditional marketing, and she straight up told me, she's like, there's no rhyme or reason anymore.
Crazy.
She didn't even end up giving me a quote because she's like, I felt bad, but she even was like, I don't know how to help anymore. I was like, oh dear, okay, don't worry.
We had a few advertising guys on here, and I asked the same question. Like, do you not feel some pressure or guilty that the results may not equal to what the expectations of your client is? And exactly, there's no rhyme and reason. You just have to stay consistent and hope for the best.
Yeah, it's like a dart. It's a dart. Yeah, my husband's in advertising, so it's the same. Yeah. His pitches sometimes go well, sometimes they don't go well.
Yeah, especially with like changing of algorithms on Instagram. It just, you never know. It's
man.
brutal.
Right?
Yeah. How much influence did your kids have, like, I guess now on your shop and anything that you can tell us?
I just do it for them. I do everything for them. Like, I'm sure, you do too, right? It's like, you have a bad day. It doesn't matter. You're going to go home to them. It's just like their pictures are in my office. They've come into the shop to make donuts, and, I keep going for them. That's it.
Do they know what mom does?
They do. Yeah. They do. And again, the other day or whatever, a couple of months ago, I was in the kitchen cooking, and I can see my kids from there in the dining room. I was having such a rough fucking week. I was like, I don't know, are we going to close? What's going to happen? What am I doing? And then June, my daughter, she goes, similar to that first donut story I told you. She goes, one day I'll cook in your kitchen, mommy. And I kind of leaned into the kitchen and just started sobbing. So I just do it for them. I do it for my staff too, because I just love them so much, and they're so committed to like continuing on. But yeah, they're the best.
Did like The Simpsons ever have influence on your shop?
Come on. Yes.
right?
Of course. I actually got a custom plaque for my husband in his office that says "Do it for her." I don't know
I
if you
love
know
it.
that one,
I
but
love
yeah,
it.
like that. It's obviously like earlier seasons. I'm like almost 40 this year, so earlier seasons influenced me for sure in the shop. Yeah, Simpsons all the time.
Something about that sprinkled donut. I'm telling
Right?
you, it
Oh,
hits different.
so good.
Um, I think a lot of like donut places hit and miss with how they make their donuts. I was telling my previous guest, I'm not a fan of the sprinkle balls. I like the straight cut sprinkles. And not
Okay.
everybody makes them.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I get what you're
Because I
saying
think
now.
Coffee Time or Tim Hortons, they use like the sprinkle balls and not like the traditional like Simpson sprinkles.
I'm the opposite.
Oh yeah?
I like the mouthfeel of, they're called like dragées. Anyway, I like the mouthfeel of the balls.
I'm shocked. And it was opposite for me. The
Of balls.
the texture for me was just like more crunchier.
Isn't that so interesting? How
Yeah.
like something so little can change the mouthfeel,
Totally. That's crazy. So I kind of going back to like the future. Do you feel like your kids, when they grow older, will want to kind of experiment in the kitchen?
I already.
They already are.
Yeah, June helped me with breakfast this morning. I was making cakes with them when they were in their, on my right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any challenges like coming with like having your business and having kids? Like, how do you split or balance life like that?
You can't. You have to surrender. That's what it is. You have to surrender to not knowing and not being able to necessarily plan for whatever's to come. Obviously, there's a certain amount of planning you have to do, but like my son's been sick this week. That means he's out of daycare. As you know,
Yep.
they've got one sneeze, they're out of daycare
Yeah.
nowadays, and so I'm home because I have that flexibility, whereas my husband doesn't. Right?
Does your husband work from home?
Hybrid
Okay, that's
is decent. Yeah,
works, I guess.
it does.
But it is challenging working at home and having to take care of a kid. That's
He's there right now.
yeah. There you go. Thanks, Dad. Your kids get sick. Are you in the like at your shop anymore, or not as much?
No, I'm still coming in 3 days a week. I mean, I don't live in Toronto, so that's the challenge for me. It's not necessarily the kids. It's more the distance, right? So that's been a bit of a challenge for sure. But yeah, if they're sick and I have to go in, it's like dropping off at my mom's house, or you got to do what you got to do.
Do they live close to your parents?
To
Your mom?
my house?
Yeah.
No.
So it's still kind of like
He's
ways
still
away.
driving in Toronto.
And what if your employees call in sick? How do you deal with that?
So it's so well managed by my manager, Karen. Shout out to Karen.
Shout out to Karen.
Oh my gosh, she's the best. Everybody in that shop is the best. We have transferable skills. So like some people can work back of house and front of house. So that lends itself well to when someone's sick. So that's worked out really well. But honestly, since COVID, there are just times where we're straight up. Like I remember once, like every single person had COVID in the shop. Not one person didn't.
God.
So it's a shutdown.
Okay.
And that's what it is. Yeah. Or I'm coming, or like I can lend myself too. I'm coming in or whatever. So it's pretty good that way.
Could you ever sell your donut? I know you do sell your donuts to some, I think, boutique places. Could you ever get into like mainstream places like Loblaws and stuff?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. In the early days, we were asked by Loblaws to sell our donuts there. It's just a question of production, right? Like that's a tall order to commit to every single day. And so is your facility big enough? How many staff? Like it's a huge thing.
Fair.
And so we weren't the capacity when we were just at Parkdale, we couldn't commit to that. No way.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Sometimes I think I don't really want to. I like the taste of things when it's kind of more small and using less equipment. Just tastes better.
Would you change your mind now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Loblaws.
Well, no, not with Loblaws, because my like moral compass would be ticking off. I can't necessarily,
Got it.
you know, politically can't really commit to that kind of thing.
Sure.
But yeah, I would say that now, if I could, I would be getting equipment that could create more efficiencies. Mainly because, again, it's so goddamn physical, this job. Like these hands, they're fucking bricks.
Yeah.
like I'm going to physio every week kind
Oh,
of thing.
wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
What does a day in the life of a baker look like in terms of donuts, like from the beginning?
Okay, here we go. All right, on a busy, like on our busiest kind of day, we're in there sometimes midnight. We're doing the rollout. Okay, we're shaping them, cutting them, proofing them, waiting, frying and topping. So that in a nutshell it's simple, like it's relatively simple, that process. But you want to cut donuts for 8 hours, let me tell you, like it's brutal. And then someone's making dough during that process so that it can ferment overnight.
Yeah.
So we're not having to make it fresh every day. And then, so that's pretty much it. But it's, midnight, sometimes to like 1 p.m., having shift switches and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a process.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
I used to work at Aroma, so I didn't wake up that early.
No.
It was like 5:30 and it was still
But even still,
Yeah.
5:30 is it's if you're not a morning person,
it's
like
not
it
for
sucks.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was telling you off the camera at one point, like I wanted to open up a donut shop. I love donuts and then I'm like, I don't know if I can wake up this early every day. And it's just a different life that you'd have to cater to, because it's not like you can, I DJ. So it's not like, and I don't know if I'd ever want to get rid of that. So it's like impossible to make that a new lifestyle.
Yeah, no, you'd be doing like your night shift DJing and then oops,
Just
in
go
the
straight to
morning,
work.
Just go straight in. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's crazy. So do you think that's the hardest part about being a baker?
I would say it's top there in challenges for people. Again, like myself, if I could wake up at 4 a.m. every day, do my meditation, have my routine, I love that. Honestly, love it. But after a while, like it like talk to somebody who's in like driving an ambulance, like that kind of scheduling, it does actually fuck your head up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You need to sleep, right? At specific times in the day, right? Like, yeah, I'm a little nutty.
What else can we talk about? So, like, do your parents support you in your business? Like, do people around you support you
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like
emotionally?
it's crazy. If I didn't have that, then I would have just closed up a couple years ago, right? It's the outpouring of messages from our community. It's just so lovely. My family, super supportive. Weirdly, because we're not Italian, but for some reason, when I had first started the shop idea, my dad was like, no, you don't want to do just donuts. You want to open an Italian hot table. And I was like, where is this even coming from? We have no Italian roots at all. Like, I know you like a good hot table, but what are you talking about? Anyway, so I thought that was funny, but yeah, super supportive. Like I couldn't imagine doing this without and having that.
What are some of the things your parents taught you that you're kind of like teaching your kids? Anything?
Oh my gosh, my mom, number one gal. Just like trust your intuition, always trust that, always lead with that. Just being you, like top to bottom, just you. And then my dad definitely, one thing he used to say, if you're not going to do something well, don't do it at all. So that has like really stuck with me. I mean, I've worked my knuckles bloody because of what he taught me, good work ethic. And yeah.
Does your perception or appreciation change for your parents as you get older?
Oh my God, especially having kids, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember having June, my first, and kind of calling my mom because she was a single mom, and I was kind of postpartum emotional, and I called her and I was like, I'm just so fucking sorry. I'm so sorry. I was the worst. I was the worst in high school. Just so bad.
What can I expect?
And now I see my kids, and again, like I was saying, they're very spirited people, and I want that. But oh my gosh, is it gonna be fucking bumpy?
So you being, what like adjective should I use? Spirited. How will you tame your kids when they get older? And especially since they can't bullshit you. You know what I mean? Like, I've snuck out of my window when I was a kid to go out. I can't see my kids being like pulling any of that kind of shit because I'll be on the other side just waiting for them.
Right?
Yeah,
Right? Now
yeah.
you start thinking about those things. I don't know. Sometimes I've thought about it because we live rurally.
Yeah.
So if they run out, that's kind of problematic. 'Cause
Sure.
it's like go out in the fucking woods. I don't know. I've thought about it. It's like on one hand, you want to promote trust, right? Even now, as young as they are.
Yeah.
When I ask them to do something, I say, I trust you, right? So
That's
you
nice.
want that. But at the same time, when I hear of all this crazy shit happening, I'm like, oh, these children are getting monitors hidden in them so that I can see where they are at all times. You know, like, I don't know. It's just going to have to come to me when it happens, right?
It's wild. Like, I don't know what the limit or the balance is or like the threshold of how much you should monitor them or helicopter them. Like, you know what I mean? It becomes, because you don't want to be too pushy and screw them up, and you don't want to also let them just be free and screw them up. Like,
Exactly. It's like the thing I keep saying is like a dart. You got to like throw a dart and see if it lands.
but I feel like our parents didn't have to go that crazy. Like, it was maybe more nonchalant. I don't know. My parents were strict.
Were they?
Like, my brother and sister had to be home by like 10 o'clock. It was no messing around. For me, it was a little bit more lenient. I'm the youngest.
Yes.
So I got to pretty much do whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I still kind of respected and knew my limits. I remember with like the time change, I stayed up an extra hour at the clubs, and my mom was like, don't pull that shit ever again. I'm not like, that's not going to fly with me. So I don't know.
I think that's good. I think that's a good way, right? Fear is the wrong word. You don't necessarily want your kids to fear you, I guess, but there maybe a little bit of fear is good. I don't know. I mean, I'm just learning. I'm not an expert for sure, but I don't know. I don't know. For me, I think kind of all of branching off of this conversation, the most important, I want them to know about their feelings. We do art therapy, like journaling.
Oh,
now,
awesome.
Even at their age. I want them to know how they're feeling.
So what does that look like?
I mean, again, I'm not an expert, okay? I'm just like free, like doing it freehand, okay? But it'll go something like this, like, let's go do some journaling. I want to know how you guys were feeling today. And I'll draw they say how they're feeling. Oh, I felt shy today or whatever it was. And I'll draw their faces shy. I went to art school for a little bit. So they're
Picasso, here we go.
So yeah, anyway, but they're not the best drawings, but they get the concept.
That's amazing.
So that's the most important thing for me.
Are you firm?
Am I firm with them?
Yeah.
Yes, I can be. Like, they know when I'm talking business for sure. But we always keep it light too. In another way, like to balance things out. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Is parenthood what you expected it to be?
No. I think I had this because I can tend to be sort of a type A personality, but also like very patchouli scented and like organic. So I think both. And I guess I did, maybe it was a little cocky now reflecting, but I was like, I got this. I can do the nights. I'm a baker. Like I can, do this. And you think you have some of the things put into place,
Yeah.
right? But then when it happens, like like that first fucking week when you bring that child home and you have not slept a goddamn minute, and how it changes you,
Totally.
like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, I never have known this kind of exhaustion. Never.
Sleep deprivation, it's just crazy.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I think me and my wife like lost so much weight in our first year of having the kid, and I was always paranoid, like, is she sleeping like my daughter? So I'd put like a pacifier on her chest to just know that she's breathing. But these small things stop you from like having a good night's sleep and catches up.
It increases the cortisol in you at all times. So you're in a heightened hyper arousal all the time, right?
There you go. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah. I'm one of 4.
Oh my God. So how does it feel like being one of 4?
I mean, it's normal to us, right? We come from a big family.
Yeah.
On my dad's side, there's 11 children. Wow. So like I have lots of uncles and aunts and cousins. So I think it was pretty normal, right?
You had fun. You must have had so much fun with cousins and like.
Oh my gosh. Still, those
Yeah.
parties rip like no other.
Yeah.
It's great.
And does that have any impact on you having a big family? Like I know you have 2 kids. Does that influence you at all?
I would want more kids, but financially, it's just not a possibility. And I'm gonna be 40 this year. I don't want to be pregnant again, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like it's a big change to your body.
For the dads who don't know, what is it like being pregnant? And I've never asked that question.
You never asked that question?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. It's like, oh my God, there's so many layers to it. I can't describe it. I mean, on one hand, it's like a love you will never understand. Like you are so connected with this child. It's amazing. It's physically costing, emotional, like so emotional. I mean, it's layered. I can't answer that question.
Yeah, it's crazy that you can. So after your first child, was it easier having the second? Because you knew what to expect?
In some ways, yes. I would say like I have a lot of regrets doing that build and how the emotional strain it put on me. Like I would never, it's hard for me to forgive myself for that. But it was easier in the sense that like June was a 50-hour labor process, 50.
Wow.
And then Indy, because I had to be induced. He was a big boy.
Yeah.
I had sweet drugs, epidural. I fell asleep, no pain. And at hour, I think, 6, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's slipping out of me. And the nurses were like, no, you're okay. And I was like, you should get the doctor to come and check. And then sure enough, 3 people checked and they're like, he will be coming shortly. And it was like 3 pushes out.
Wow.
So very different that way.
Wow.
Yeah, super different.
Thanks, moms.
Right?
Thanks to all the moms out there. Did you have your kids while it was COVID?
Yeah. So 2021 for June and 2022 for Indy.
Crazy. That was not a fun time in the hospital. At least we didn't like it.
What hospital were you?
St. Joe's.
Oh, me too.
Get out.
For June.
Oh, I was born in there too.
Were you?
Yeah, so the COVID thing, and I get it, but it was just like
It was hard.
It was so hard. The nurse was like 50 yards away from me and like wouldn't come in because we didn't have a mask, which whatever. And then everybody was just more agitated, and it was just we didn't get the real experience, I feel like, of other people who had kids.
No one could come visit you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally get that. I do remember this really young couple who, looked, they were pregnant, and I had come in I was in labor. I felt so bad, but I was like, like just dying of pain.
Yeah.
And this young couple, like just terrified. And I was like, okay, let's just move me into a room. Like, come on.
The show's over.
The show's Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You and your husband, you guys go on dates?
Ugh, I wish. Yeah. There's just no time lately. We haven't been on a date in a really long time. We were supposed to go to a place up near us for Valentine's Day, but it got canceled because of things.
Yeah.
Right? What about you guys? You going out?
Barely. It's hard, and if we do want to, we're just exhausted. I took off a week for March break, and she has 2 weeks for March break, so we went to like Cactus Club, and it's just so different going out and not having any entourage with you, and you just feel like, you know, back in the day, just having no kids and stuff like that, and it's just a different feeling. But it's hard. It's hard to even schedule it. Babysitters, we have my mom, but they're getting older, and like, you know, we feel guilty sometimes just saying, "Hey, mom, can you like look after her and stuff?" So I think that makes a big difference, whether or not you have that support system.
I do, but again, it's like it's a distance thing for us.
Yeah, that's brutal. I live next door to my parents.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
do you?
yeah, like literally next door.
Is that a good thing for you?
Oh, amazing.
Good. Okay,
I
good.
love it.
Good.
I love it. And we're going to be moving soon. So it's going to be kind of heartbreaking because she's going to start school, JK, in Oakville. So we live in Etobicoke. We'll be moving to like Mississauga-ish.
Oh wow, that's a huge
Yeah.
jump. Yeah.
So it'll be a little bit different not having my parents there. Wow. Right. But I don't know how you manage to like.
I don't know, man. I like if I didn't have my mom and Rob's parents, like it's we're even thinking possibly of like, well, is there a babysitter? But I don't know. I don't know yet, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a big jump.
Are they allowed to sleep over?
No.
Me too.
No, that's not a it's like it's so crazy in the world. I just can't.
I'm with you.
Right?
And a lot of people actually are not with us.
Yeah,
They're
I
open
mean
to it.
that's fair.
I don't know. I just feel like you actually never know who somebody is and, you know, who's coming over, and you can't control it, and just not worth it for me unless it's their cousins or something like that.
Yeah, like I think, you know, like maybe later maybe, but not definitely. Yeah, not in the early days. I'm not into that. Right
Not
now.
at least let them be able to communicate fully what's going on.
Yes,
That's-
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wild. Feel free not to answer it, but I get the gist that you said your parents are divorced. Did that have an impact on you?
Oh, for sure. It has an impact on anybody who comes from a divorced family. Yeah. Living with a single mom, but it also impacted me positively as well, right? Like seeing I have so much respect for my mom and like what she did on a shoestring budget with 2 kids on her own. Like it's just unimaginable. So I think I can only speak for myself, but yes, it did have a severe impact on me as a kid. But I think that it made me resilient and offered me a lot of skills, if that makes sense.
Totally.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is. I mean, it's sometimes it has to happen, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So your husband works in advertising. You guys, who makes dinner? Who makes breakfast? I know you said your daughter makes breakfast sometimes, but who's in charge of like the day-to-day stuff? Do you guys rotate?
I think like we do rotate for sure. Like everyday cooking, it's on and off, me, him.
Yeah.
Then dishes, it's like me, him, me, him. I would say like, I'd say it's pretty even. We have a big property, for example. So like his workload around the house is like, oh, you got to move that pile of wood chips.
Oh God. Okay.
or like, you know, you got to cut down that tree. Okay. And then I'm doing the house stuff. Like I don't want to say it's like a traditional, like we're not a traditional, you know, male, female kind of rules, but we split them up, I guess that way a little bit. Yeah.
Bedtime
Bedtime on and off. One night, one him, one night me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Same as us.
Yeah,
more or
yeah.
less.
Yeah. It just works out that way better, I think.
Yeah. Are they more with mom or like daddy's girl? And I know you have a son too, but
Always switches.
yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
She's really clinging on to her mom.
Right now?
Where
Okay.
it's like very problematic where when mom's not there, it's much easier for me to be with my daughter because she's just more into it. But if she knows mom's in the house, it's like over. She's
Yeah.
calling for mom. And I think that's the challenge I'm experiencing as a dad. But I heard when they get older, it's going to switch to them wanting dad.
It always switches. Like I have found over the years that it's like, yeah, I've had periods where June is just a mama girl and then a daddy girl. Like it's just all the time switches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they both in school?
No, June's gonna go in JK in September.
So they're both my daughter and yours. They're just in the same path. So
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming their school's near your house.
Yes, it's right around the corner.
Cool.
Luckily, she still has to take like a bus.
Okay.
So she's so excited for that. But again, like we live rurally, so this is very lucky that we have this school right here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you speak French?
I do. Yeah, I'm fairly fluent now. I'll say I'm not like 100% anymore.
How do you know what to teach your kids, like in terms of what you want them to know? There's like the must knows and then not important stuff. Like, do they want to learn French?
I wouldn't say like I did initially want them to go to French school, but we don't have a lot of choices out where we are, right?
Yeah.
So it's just me kind of teaching them here and there. I wouldn't say they're super stoked about it necessarily, but it is something that's important to me. I do want for them to build that language skill.
And I'm sure it helped you a lot just growing up, learning two languages, knowing two languages.
Oh my
right?
gosh, yeah, 100%. 100%. I went to French school.
Okay.
Yeah. So the switch to English was like really unique for me.
Yeah.
It was a little weird.
So how do you know what to teach them? And not just language, but like what's important for you?
Again, going back to what I was saying earlier, it's knowing your feelings, knowing how you're feeling. The other thing is like I want them to be able to protect themselves, not like physically too. Like we plan to do a combat sport with both of the kids.
Sweet.
Right? But also protect themselves from words and like, like we were talking about bullies, and things like that. And I'm like, this is maybe not like a popular opinion, but like I got some bullying. Everybody probably had some bullying.
Crazy.
Right? You too?
It was the worst.
The worst.
Horrible.
It fucking sucks, right? And that stays with you.
Yeah.
That stays with you. And so we talk about situations like when we see something on TV, like, oh, well, what would you have done? And maybe not the most popular opinion, but I have said like, if somebody like uses force with you, you use force back.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very much that way. Like, I'm not like I don't want to sound like I'm promoting violence or something,
Totally.
but it's like I want them to learn to use your words to protect yourself or to walk away if you feel you need to. But if you're feeling like you're being threatened in a physical sense, I want you to stand up for yourself that way too.
Instincts.
Yeah,
It's crazy. I went to this school and it was just horrible bullies, like the worst. These guys would like whip apples at the back of my head on the school bus. I'm not even kidding, like spit gum at you. And can I tell you, a couple of years ago, I went to this pop-up party on King Street and I saw one of the two. One of them was like kind of the neutral one who tried to calm things down. He's like, guess who's here? And the bully was there. And he's like, let's go say hi to him. I'm like in my 30s. In my head, so many things went through my head. Like, do I want to just fucking knock him out just for like good, like, get it out of my system because I've held it on for so long? Or will I just play it cool? And I'm like, fuck, let me just play it cool. But I I was like, I hope he apologizes. Like that would be cool. And nothing. Like I don't know if bullies know they're bullies. I don't know.
Well, I think everybody has the capacity to bully, right? And like I can't speak to every situation, but it does probably stem from, like maybe how the child's living, or maybe the victim turns into the bully. Like
Yeah.
everybody has either been bullied or was a bully. So it's so common. But yeah, to your point, you see that bully and you have a visceral reaction to that. So that's so telling of how that it literally stays in our bodies. So I think that's an important theme in the household. I'm not drilling it into them,
Totally.
but
Our parents were always very very sweet and always wanted to accommodate people. And I think those traits, because I'm sure if you just knocked that person out or stood up for yourself at that, it was grade 5 or grade 6. You're young, but maybe it would have just been done right then and there, right? But because you're trying to like not be, I don't know, confronting them, it just changes. I don't know.
You have to use your instincts for
Yeah.
every situation. Like, yeah, sometimes you're going to have to use your words and back away or whatever. And sometimes maybe you don't, right? Like,
I want to put her in jujitsu or something.
right? Just do. I think it's great. It like builds confidence. I was a boxer in high school and like I loved it. It was great. Loved it.
Yeah. How much time? We have a few minutes. So we usually end the podcast. No, I want to ask you one question. How many donuts do you think you made?
Over 13 years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
How would you even keep track?
We were considering putting like a little tracker at the
Yeah.
shop, but oh my God. Like over 1 million. I don't know.
Get
I don't know.
out.
I don't know.
Okay.
I couldn't answer that. Yeah, maybe over 1 million or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I probably ate like 1,000 of those millions for sure.
Thank you.
My wife would always order me for my birthday the big donut.
The big boy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it. It's just like
Thank you.
just demolish it. Yeah,
love
it's so
that.
good. We usually end the podcast with 2 questions.
Okay.
If you could have any artist, dead or alive, perform at your wedding, who would it be?
Oh, my wedding.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Fife Diggy.
Five Diggy.
Yeah.
Who the hell's that?
Fife Dog.
I'm
Tribe Called Quest.
okay. Crazy. And we had somebody named Cookie Called Quest on our show.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I just spoke to him actually. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I was never into that era of hip hop. I liked Ice Cube and stuff like that, but I missed that. I'm an 86 baby.
I'm an 85.
Okay. I don't know if that year did a difference for me or not, but
Whatever.
yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, maybe him or like, I don't know. That's such a hard question. I have such a like I love music all across the board. Oh, that's so hard. I'm super into music.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe Tribe Called Quest as like the whole group with
Okay.
Fife Dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a shitty DJ I am. I don't even know that song. Bad. I got to do some homework. If you can invite anybody on the podcast from your circle, who would it be? They don't have to be parents, but.
I would say just because food industry and parent,
Yeah.
David Matacchioni. He is a wonderful man. I know his wife. They have 2 kids, and he owns Matacchioni over on the west side. He just recently closed his shop that was next to mine.
Oh, wow.
And I think he'd be a good guest.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. I wish you guys nothing but the best. I love your brand. I love your donuts. Thank you so much for bringing some.
Thank you.
Where can they find you?
1505 Gerrard Street East. Yeah, there we are. We're open 7 days a week.
And you sell donuts to a few boutique shops?
Not so much anymore. We're not doing wholesale.
Okay.
So pretty much all in shop.
All right. You got to go to the headquarters.
Yep.
Glory Hole Doughnuts. Thank you so much, Ashley.
Yeah, thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Graham.